Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Adam McKola TV. I am Adam. This is the Aftermath Live after Manchester United have beaten Wolves 1-0 in the FA Cup third round replay at Old Trafford thanks to Juan Mata's cheeky little chip over Ruddy to give Manchester United the victory. The goal coming in the second half after some good play by Anthony Martial, who the long ball had come up field. He had got in between the ball and the defender. The ball dropped. As it dropped, he span, got onto the ball, brought the ball out of play with his feet and obviously his quick pace, played the ball in for Mata. The ball was perfect weight for Juan Mata, and as soon as he was through one-on-one, he had a few defenders chasing him, and it was great how Andy Tate described it in his fan cam as something out of a cartoon. It really was, watching Juan Mata run through there, but as he dinked the ball, you knew it was going in. You knew it was 1-0 Manchester United. The only little doubt for me sat in the stands was whether it would be called for offside from VAR, because the run Juan Mata made was very close, but it was clear as day that it was onside, and Manchester United got the victory 1-0 to set up a fourth round game away from home against either Tranmere Rovers or Watford, who are still yet to play their game. Now, that game for them will come like 3 days before or 4 days before United are supposed to play in that fourth round game, so they're going to have a lot of fixtures in a short period of time because of the fact the game had got called off a day before United's game against Wolves. So initially they were supposed to play that on Tuesday, and the game got rained off. So whether that goes ahead soon remains to be seen as well. But if it gets rained off again, imagine it got rained off again, then United's fixture would probably be delayed as well. So an interesting few days ahead in terms of the FA Cup, and it's going to be fast approaching that fourth round, especially with United's replay and Watford's replay with Tranmere being delayed. But nevertheless, United won 1-0. Juan Mata got the goal. Happy days for the Reds, except it wasn't all smooth sailing for Manchester United. In the second half, Marcus Rashford came on, and he came on around the 64th minute, and he went off around the 75th, 77th minute. He was on the field for about 10 minutes. In the time that he came on, United scored, but he picked up a knock to his back. Tried to play on, couldn't play on, had to get substituted. So Ollie had to substitute the substitute. Jesse Lingard came on for him, and now he's a doubt for that game against Liverpool at the weekend. Now, a lot of people are saying, should we have played Marcus Rashford? Should we have risked him? First of all, he didn't start, so he wasn't risked from the start. He was given a rest. He came off the bench at 0-0 in the game with that long to go. It made sense bringing him on. I feel like this game against Wolves was more important than the game against Liverpool. We can actually win the FA Cup. We can actually win a trophy. Now, obviously, we want to win that game against Liverpool. It's a difficult game, though. But our aspirations in the league this season are to get top four. We could beat Liverpool and not get top four. We could beat Wolves and not win the FA Cup. That's also a possibility. But progressing in this cup competition was important for Manchester United. Massively important, because the cup competitions are the only place where we can get trophies this season. The Europa League is probably a better bet for the top four, and I'm saying that already, even though we're only just over halfway into the season and we're only 5 points off the top spot. That could be extended this weekend. I know Chelsea have Arsenal coming up as well, so things can change. But I feel with the inconsistencies of United now, if we sign Bruno Fernandes and Pogba's back soon and McTominay, we'll see a different side, I think. But the inconsistencies that we have with that, and with the injury problems that we do currently have, and we've not yet signed Bruno Fernandes. With that being said, I don't think we'll get top four. Now that could change, and I could change my opinion on that in 5, 6, 10 games. So I'm happy to be proven wrong on that, but the way I feel is the Europa League's more of a better bet, or winning the FA Cup would be great for the season, and getting top four is going to be difficult, especially with our inconsistencies. So I don't think it was a risk bringing Marcus Rashford on, and I don't think it was, well, it obviously backfired bringing him on because he got injured, but we shouldn't really be stressing about that. These things can happen. He can get injured in training. You know what I mean? So yes, we don't want to see players overplayed, but he didn't start the game. And I feel like the Wolves game was important. Kay Brennan says, you mustn't have had your coffee this morning. We can beat Liverpool. I don't think so, mate. Well, we thought that going into the City game at the Etihad, and we beat them. Now, obviously, Liverpool are a different prospect this season. They're not maybe as great to watch as they were last season, and our front three have outscored their front three, which shows that they're obviously our players are having a decent season, but also Salah, Mane, Firmino, they're not scoring as many goals as they were last season. They're grinding games out though. They're keeping clean sheets. They're getting 1-0 wins, 2-0 wins, and unfortunately that's the sign of champions. And it's a difficult game. Liverpool are obviously overwhelming favourites in that game, but I'm not as pessimistic as that, saying I don't think so, because I do think so. We can beat them. I've seen frailties in the way they've played in games this season. I thought Spurs should have got something out of that game. So there are frailties there that we can expose, but if we haven't got Marcus Rashford, it's a lot more difficult, and you're probably right, we're probably not going to win if we haven't got Marcus Rashford, but it's a difficult game that, and I just felt winning this game against Wolves was probably more important. Nevertheless, we'll be going into that game hoping we can get a victory against Liverpool. Now, we have got player ratings coming up for you guys very soon as well, so make sure you're keeping it locked for the player ratings, which are coming up in the Aftermath Live. We'll also have obviously my man of the match, which has changed from yesterday. Now, in the review that I did on this channel, I think I said Brandon Williams was my man of the match. Now, I still think Brandon Williams had a great game, but my man of the match has changed since I watched the match back. Habibur says, yes, Mac, how you doing, mate? Awais says Liverpool with VAR in it, which is obviously a regular thing. Shubham says our defence looks much better. Clean sheet incoming at Anfield with the fingers crossed emoji. Fingers crossed that one happens. How you doing, Math Oratory? Hope you're well. McSauce coming in with the live stream, says Cannonballer. Yes, Adam McSauce. Is that me now? McSauce. I like it. Oh well, I know McTominay is McSauce, but yeah. One player isn't enough, says Michael Jones. Now, obviously we're waiting for confirmation on whether Bruno Fernandes is going to sign or not. There's talks that the terms are agreed with the player. We're just waiting to sort things out in terms of the fee with the club. Now, we've been in this position before with players and not signed them, so it's a possibility we won't sign Bruno Fernandes, but the signs are good at the moment that we could get a deal done this week. Sporting play Benfica tomorrow night, and they'll probably want him available for that game. Part of me thinks it's mad when clubs do that, because if you're looking to sell the player, it's obviously you want the money, but you're then willing to risk that 50, 60, 70 million, whatever it is, in one-off game that you could still lose. So it's a mad one, but that's the talk at the moment. We did hear this at the start of the season as well, in August, that we'd agreed terms with the player. We were waiting for us to agree a fee, and Sporting just wanted him to play in a game against Benfica. So it's like deja vu all over again. But there does seem to be a little bit more in this one this time around. So fingers crossed we can get the deal done. I didn't think we'd sign anyone in the January transfer window. So even if we just sign Bruno Fernandes, I'm happy with that. Nostalgic Neil's watching all the way from Canada. Thank you for tuning in, mate. We got one from Belfast, Hybrid Tackle. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for the nice comment. Can we please have a different formation versus Liverpool, says Nostalgic Neil. Now, part of me thinks that the reason why we've played so many behind closed doors games, and not so many, we played a behind closed door game recently. Eric Bailly played for the 23s last week. So with that being said, it looks like we're trying to push Bailly towards being ready now. Has Ali got it in his mind to play a back three against Liverpool? Obviously, Axel Tuanzebe has been out. Jones hasn't been good enough. Has he got it in his mind to play a back three at Anfield with Bailly a part of that? Now, I personally think Eric Bailly is our best centre-half when fit and when playing regularly. He doesn't do that enough. So with that being said, Maguire's our best centre-half. Maguire-Bailly could be the partnership that we go forward with, and I'd have confidence in that if Bailly stays fit. That's not a slight on Lindelof. I just think Bailly's better than him. Having said that, could we see Maguire, Lindelof, Bailly back three against Liverpool? I think that is a possibility. Peter Jackson says greetings from Bangkok. Thank you for tuning in, mate. Awais is watching in school. Make sure you don't get nabbed. Don't want to get your phone taken off you or whatever. We need Bruno Fernandes's creativity in midfield, says Sashan from South Africa. We got loads of people watching from all sorts of different places in the globe. Thank you for tuning in to Adam McKola TV. I appreciate you all for getting locked in on this Thursday afternoon in the UK. I'm not sure what time it is where you are, as you're watching from all over the place, but maybe we could see a back three against Liverpool with Eric Bailly a part of that, and Matt Oratory agrees. Anyway, let's move on to the player ratings from that game against Wolves yesterday. Manchester United beat Wolves 1-0 thanks to Juan Mata's goal, and Juan Mata is in gold there, so you can see that Juan Mata has got my man of the match with a rating of 8 out of 10. I thought he was our most threatening attacking player throughout the game. I know Daniel James had a couple of opportunities as well. Probably should have took one of them. He went very close with one in the second half, which was a good shot towards the back post. Shane Mata couldn't just get in on the end to just pop it in, but that was good. I gave him a 7 out of 10 because I thought his overall performance was good yesterday, but should have had a little bit more in terms of end product. We'll go from the back. Romero 7, Wan-Bissaka 7, Lindelof 7. I thought his distribution was a lot better yesterday. Maguire 6. That may be harsh though. I could have pushed him up to a 7, but I felt like I was being too generous giving out all these 7s. Brandon Williams, who was my original man of the match, getting an 8. Same rating as Mata, but Mata got the goal, so I'll give him the man of the match. Matic with a 7. I thought his performance was pretty tidy. Gave the ball away a few times in the first half, but kept things going. And up against the Neves and Moutinho midfield, I thought Neves and Moutinho had bright spots in the game, but you know, it was a battle in there, and I thought Matic and Fred did well in there. Fred with a 6 out of 10. He didn't have a bad performance, but it wasn't amazing. James is a 7, as I said. Mata with an 8. Greenwood 6. Thought he had a quiet game yesterday. Anthony Martial with a 7. Now he would have been a 6, but I felt that work for the goal warrants a 7 because he pretty much made it out of nothing. It was a long ball up. The defender looked favourite to clear it. He managed to get his body in the way of the ball, spin, get in behind, and play Juan Mata in. So I thought that pushed his rating up a little bit. Rashford, when he come on, he absolutely murdered one of the defenders with a nutmegs. It was amazing. And he looked bright when he came on, and obviously it coincided with a scoring the goal. Unfortunately, it got substituted. Andreas and Lingard got a 5. Didn't have much opportunity to impact the game. Andreas gave the ball away in an awkward area at one point when he was dilly-dallying on the ball, but you know, I gave them both a 5 out of 10 because they didn't really have much time to do anything. Lingard especially coming on with 7 minutes to go. Oli Solskjaer got a 6 out of 10 for this. I thought, you know, we got the job done, and much like Maguire, it wasn't a bad performance, it wasn't a great performance, it was decent, and we got the win. 1-0 suggests that. United through to the next round, and of course playing Watford or Tranmere in the 4th round away from home. The win was important to Michael Jones. Fred was better than a 6, says Sasha, so maybe I've been a little bit harsh with him. He thinks he deserved a bit more for the covering that he was doing in the defence. Matic and Fred versus Liverpool, says Kay Brennan. That's looking like the possibility that we'll be going with that. You reckon Lingard's going anytime soon, says Owais. It wouldn't surprise me if it happened in the summer, but I don't think he'll leave this January at all. I think if United improve their squad, Jesse Lingard's a good squad player, but he's obviously got to think about his future. Someone asked me earlier in the comments, sorry I've missed the name, would I rather have Tahith Chong or Angel Gomez stay? And Angel Gomez is the one I'd rather stay. Now look, they're both talented players. I wouldn't mind both of them sticking around. Maybe a loan move for Chong or Gomez, but if one of them was to stay as a Man United player, I'd go with Angel Gomez. I feel like he's got the higher ceiling, he's the more talented player, and in that number 10 area is where we need players as well. Look at Jesse Lingard. He's a good squad player. In some games, like you look at that Man City away game, Spurs at home, he has a good impact. You remember the period of time under Jose where he was scoring a lot of goals, contributing a lot in games, and some of the goals that he scored were actually very, the high quality goals, whether there were shots from outside the area, dribbling into the box, half volleys, this, that. He was scoring all sorts of different goals. He had different things in his locker. And in the last 12 to 18 months, I don't know whether it's because of his family issues or he's plateaued in terms of his, he's just in terms of his form. I'm not sure what it is, but his head's obviously not been in the game now. Could be the pressures of playing for Manchester United as well taking its toll. And maybe a move could revitalise things for him, because he is a good footballer, and having him as part of the squad, I wouldn't be totally against that. But if he thinks that, I need a fresh start, he wouldn't be afraid to make a move. He's already played at a number of English clubs, so I could see him being brave enough to make a move abroad, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. But I don't think he'll leave this January, and I'd be disappointed to see him leave, because I like him. He's a good lad, and he could be a good squad member, but we need to improve our whole squad. If Jesse Lingard was in and around your squad, coming in and out, it's not a bad player to have. It's when you're relying on them week in, week out. Romero definitely at 8, not because United had a clean sheet, but most definitely because Romero made the clean sheet happen. Fair. I think the thing that affected me with Fred's rating was that pass which almost led to the goal, which was disallowed for VAR, correctly so, for handball. It probably should have been disallowed anyway for a foul on Maguire. It was a horrible challenge by Jimenez. He was all over the place. But that stuck in my mind with Fred. But I agree with what was said as well. He did some good things. Some players are worth buying and sacrificing time and money for. Lingard isn't one of those, in my opinion, says Reverse Joe. Romero equals the best bench goalkeeper, says Oase. How certain are you that Williams is our number one left back choice right now? Well, look, he's still a young player. You don't want to put massive pressure on him and try and rush things. I feel like he is on form, but he could have a dip in form, and then you could say, alright, maybe we need to bring Luke Shaw in for a bit, or play Delo there, or I don't know, try something else. Ethan Laird, and that's fine. That's allowed to happen. He's a young player, but what he's showing at the moment is he's got a higher ceiling than Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw has definitely plateaued. He's not got any better. He's probably got worse than what he was. He doesn't seem to have that cutting edge, that want to get forward. And Brandon Williams has that in bucket loads. So, for me, Brandon's ahead of him at the moment. But things can change very quickly in football, and especially with young players as well. That's why you should never be, screaming from the rooftops, this guy's the next big thing, because, touch wood, it doesn't happen, but a bad injury or anything things can change. Fred had another strange game. Romero is very good number 2 keeper, says Michael Jones. Do you see Bailly and Delo being involved against Liverpool? Probably not Delo, possibly Bailly. Was speaking about it earlier that potentially could see a back 3 at Anfield, and with Eric Bailly having come back recently, been involved in a behind closed door friendly, been involved with the 23s, maybe now Ollie will feel it's time to bring him into the first team. And bring him in at that game against Liverpool, which wouldn't be a bad thing at all. But yeah, I'm delighted with United getting through in the Cup, even if it wasn't a vintage performance. Juan Mata, my man of the match, but Brandon Williams impressing as well, as did Nemanja Matic yet again. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments. Demis says, I like Williams, guys, a solid left back and can improve. Should United sell De Gea and use the money to strengthen? No, we shouldn't, because then we need to strengthen goalkeeper. People like to rush Dean Henderson and all that stuff, but we need to relax a little bit, man. Another clean sheet for Romero, though, which is great, but I wouldn't want him as first choice goalkeeper. That's just me. I don't think Delo sucks at all. I don't think he's a bad defender at all, and he gets forward a lot as well. He likes to try things out. What do you think we'll do against Liverpool and the Bruno transfer? Is this a lot of noise, or the transfer seems to be holding water? There seems to be something in it this time around. And look, I'll end it on the Bruno Fernandes stuff. The latest reports are that we've agreed personal terms with the player. We're trying to agree a fee with Sporting Lisbon. If we can get that done, it'll be our player, hopefully by the end of this week, but hopefully in this transfer window as well. Talk is that they want him to play against Benfica. United are trying to agree a fee which is believed to be around 60 to 70 million euros, which I think represents good value for a player that has as many goals and assists as he does, has room for improvement, plays in a number of positions that we need him to play. I mean, you look at the likes of Declan Rice being valued at £90 million. If you can, bring in someone like Bruno Fernandes for 60 to 70 million, still a lot of money. but I think it represents a bit more value than some of the signings we'd have to make elsewhere. So I think, yeah, we can get that done. It'd be a great bit of business. And at the moment, there seems to be something in these rumours. And if there is something in these rumours and something pops off very soon, we will be live here on Adam McKola TV and on Full Time Devils. So make sure you're keeping it up. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're commenting. Make sure you're sharing the video as well. For now, I'm going to get out of here. We have got more content coming up with the preview for the Liverpool game coming, as well as Weekly United this week as well. So make sure you're keeping it up. Like, comment, share and subscribe. And for now, I have been Adam McKola. I'm out of here.